Special podcast. Troy, good to be back. Been a couple weeks. Glad to be back
Feels good.
podding.
Feels good. Just get back in the saddle, just talking all sorts of sports. We go everywhere from the Kings, who have really let us down over the last 2 weeks, to the one of the craziest football weekends I could ever remember.
It was a fantastic weekend of football. I loved every second of it. Most of the teams I
Uh,
wanted to win won, but every single game was fantastic. We'll break down each of them here later on tonight. I wanted to show you my new shirt here. Look, I got my King shirt on.
That's such a good shirt. This is how I feel about the Kings. You see what I'm wearing? I'm wearing already locked out baseball stuff because that's how I feel about the Kings. So I decided I would just go ahead and just move past all the other sports going on and just go right to baseball.
Yeah, Kings have been an absolute disaster this year. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. So we'll be So let's move on and get started. Let's start talking some Kings.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We got some fun stuff going on today. All right, try the last two games for the Kings. They lose by 50 to the Celtics.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna lose, just lose big. I mean, definitely didn't cover. I don't think that they were 51 point underdogs, so they did not cover. Just some terrible games of
I'm going
late.
to bet they didn't take the over because they scored 30 points in the first half.
Yeah, yeah, that's not great.
Nope.
No, 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 no.
Not a lot of positive spin. I would have loved to watch. I didn't watch most of that game because I turned it on and it was 33-7, and I was like, nah, I don't know if I'm going to watch
Let's
much more of this.
let's try a different show. This show's not gonna work for me. And then
I
I
would
believe
have
it was a lot.
loved to watch Kenny Thomas try to spin positives out of that game.
No one wants to watch Kenny Thomas. That guy needs to go with the rest of the team. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I think it was last Wednesday where we were going to do our show. Just something came up. It was the Pistons. They were up big late. I think a 13-2 run to end the game. Just a total choke job. Typical Kings. I think it was that 5 in a row they've lost, 14 under or something like that. The sad thing is if you're just 7 games under 500, you're currently in the playoffs. And we can't even be 7 games under 500 to be the 10th seed.
No, that's asking too much of them, Troy.
I'm just ready for it to blow up. I don't know. I saw something today. I don't know if it was Twitter or Instagram or something, but the GM for the Lakers, he actually wanted to trade for Heald, and LeBron and Davis were the ones that changed his mind to go after Westbrook. So I think that's interesting. I think
Yeah,
that
LeBron's
fits.
like, have you watched any game tape of the Sacramento Kings?
Do you know how Buddy Heald works, basically?
This is going to be not good.
I mean, the way Westbrook's playing, though, I mean, I don't know who would be worse.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Did you hear how the Kings trolled him though when he was? I know that was a while ago, but they're playing cold as ice when he was shooting.
Yeah.
You gotta love that. If we can't win, at least we can talk some smack.
Well, the Kings are now officially further away from the 10 seed than they are to the worst record in the West.
I say if you're gonna be bad, be really bad. I say you just dump everybody. Let the. I know this is every year we say it. Dump everybody and let the kids play. We say it every single year. Well, it's just. I'm just over it personally.
So I was looking at something today. It was the first mock draft that I looked at just to see. And of course, the Kings are projected to draft a shooting guard. And I was like, come on. But they were fifth. So I was like, well, if we're
Locust.
fifth, let's just tank. We can't be that far off.
Loca's in the house. Loca is in the
I'm
house.
glad Loca's here. Loca, we missed you.
Yeah, you're our one true and through. We appreciate you joining us. Browns suck.
All right, Troy. Let's start talking trade deadline. That's about all we have to look forward to for the Kings season. We'll start with question one. Who has to go?
Has to go. I'm gonna have to say
Yeah,
Heald and
absolute has
Barnes.
to. Who has to go?
Heald and Barnes. Those two have to go. You can't keep those guys around. They need to go. I think has to stay. I think that's a very small list. I would say has to stay for me personally is Halliburton. I say you keep Halliburton.
Who else would even be on the roster that we would?
No, you can get rid of Fox. I don't care about Fox anymore. A source told us that He's actually the laziest person on the team, so we're not going to give our sources away, but we heard through the grapevine that a person big in the Kings says that they should just blow it up. Fox is the laziest on the
Somebody that
team.
may have been the sixth man of the year may have said something along those lines.
He may or may not be on our Kings bracket that we're launching later, but we won't say it when he is there. But he basically said that Fox is the laziest guy on the team. You can't have your best player be the laziest on the team. They need to blow it up, start from scratch. What they're doing right now ain't working. So it's just interesting to see that perspective from someone inside the walls.
Yeah, I think Barnes has to go because he has the most trade value, but I don't think. So the Kings need to just go full tank. None of this play for the 10 seed. They're not making up 3.5 games. They're not catching Portland. I don't even care if Lillard's not playing. They don't have anyone as good as CJ McCollum, so they're not going to catch Portland.
No, they can't do that thing where they end up the 11th or 12th seed. They either need to be 16 or whatever the last 15 or 16. They need to be absolutely last. Get the most balls in there. We still get the third pick or something like that, but I say you just flop Fox, get him out of here.
Yep, flip Fox for another player, I would say. If we could do the Fox for... Well, we'll talk about trades here in a minute. But I think Barnes has to get pushed for picks.
Yeah. You got to take some scrub that's going to come off of some scrub with a big contract that's going to come off the books at the end of the year and get some picks out of it, basically.
Yeah. I agree. All right, trades that intrigue you. Because we'll skip over anyone untouchable because I think they're all touchable.
You touch anybody on our team, we don't care. Just buy him a drink first.
We got to get Vivek out of there. Can you trade Vivek?
Yeah, get Vivek out of there, and can you just throw in Kenny Thomas as well? Just get him out of there too. So those two, they can go.
What's the market for Kenny Thomas as the announcer?
And Morgan Reagan, take her too.
I think we could trade and have Kenny Thomas on our show at this point.
Perfect. Line them up.
We'll zoom them in.
Why not?
All right, trades that intrigue you. Names I've heard. Kings
I like
tied
Sabonis.
to.
I think that was one, right?
Sabonis for Fox.
I
Straight
say
up.
just fire that right now.
Put it in. Call it in.
I don't know how I feel about the Simmons thing, just because the uncertainty behind Simmons. I know he's a good player, but just I'm a little worried with what's going on up top there.
He's still under contract for 3 years. So worst case, he decides he does not want to play for the Kings, and then we just have Ben Simmons available to trade for something else. I'm in. Let's do it.
I mean, anything's better than what we got.
He already has said he will play in Sacramento. He just wants to get out there. He's burnt the bridge to Philly, lit it on fire, blew it up.
He can't go. He can't go back.
He can't go back to Philly. So
they say he can go back, but he's not going. He won't be able to last one game in Philly.
Travi, yep, blow up the whole team. Now we're talking about right now. So I would, I like the Sabonis idea. I think that's the best we can do for Fox, unless we can do the Simmons deal. I'd rather have. I think the trade that I saw.
Was it Harris, whatever his first name is?
We take on the bad Harris contract. We dump Fox and Buddy and like Harrison Barnes, and we get back Simmons and Thibault and Tobias Harris. And we probably have to give up like 2 first-round picks to do that, but I don't trust the Kings' ability to use those picks to get anyone helpful, so let's throw them in.
They actually have
it's
it
our
drafted
number one
bad.
asset right now is our draft picks.
Yeah, they haven't really drafted bad over the last couple of years. They just haven't been in a spot where you're going to get a guy that's franchise changing player. I mean, Fox at what is it, 4 we got him, 2? 5, and then we got freaking Bagley at 2.
Yeah, we don't need Trae Young or Luka.
Yeah, I mean, we've made that might have been a bad pick, but I don't like recently. Was that Vladi that took Bagley?
Absolutely, because he didn't like Luka's dad. Allegedly.
That's smart. That's smart. Yeah, like I said, I agree with the A-Gap podcast. Monty hasn't drafted terribly. I like Mitchell. I like Halliburton.
We didn't need Mitchell, though.
That doesn't mean anything. We need everything. Anyone who can play basketball can join our team at this point. But I'm thinking if we could trade Fox for like 2 or 3 average dudes, and
No,
then
we
we
have
find
all of the average dudes, right? We don't need more average dudes. We
no,
need
if
one
you
above average dude. That's what we need.
he's barely above average.
No, we know. We've watched enough Kings basketball. He is not above average. He just gets to shoot the ball the most because he happens to have the most talent. So he gets a lot of points. He
He's
doesn't get
getting
a lot of assists. He refuses to play defense. Yes.
Jason Thompson, DeMarcus Cousins, all those guys that rolled through here, Isaiah Thomas for a while, all those guys that just got to hoist it. The old Rudy Gaze.
Harrison Barnes on the Mavericks situation. Whereas, like, I guess he's the best guy. We'll just let him go for it.
Why not? Let it fly. Let it fly, big man.
So are you more intrigued by the Sabonis or by the Simmons trades?
Oh, Sabonis. He's a different breed of cat. As a guy who watched a lot of March Madness, I don't even know if he played March Madness, but I just wanted to bring that up because I got to talk to you about it. I didn't want to forget, but I like Sabonis. I think, yeah, he's a difference maker. I don't know about Simmons. I'm just nervous about it. You don't want to, trade Fox away and then get stuck with a guy that's not going to play.
Lauren, I would like to comment. Yes, I am a Sex Panther, so you can leave now. I will address that comment and we can move on.
Who said that?
Asked Lauren from work. He said he don't watch golf, but I wanted to pop it and say Zach is a Sex Panther.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's one of those ironic nicknames. It's a little because you're not really a panther. You're definitely sexy.
There's got to be like a fatter big cat that I could be.
Do you think Fox can be an all-star in Philly or Indiana? I think he can be one in Indiana. I mean, what else is there to do in Indiana except watch your guy who's the only one who's going to score?
I guess so.
He'll average 30 in Indiana.
You know what numbers Sabonis had to put up to be an all-star as the last guy in? I don't think you get to be an all-star in Indy, but they would be excited.
You used to be.
They have a really boring team, so I guess having De'Aaron Fox would be good. But
Malice
I don't think he's good enough. He's a terrible defender. He's not that great of a creator for anyone else. He's a below average shooter from 3, and he shoots like 75% from the line.
They definitely have to change the way they play, though, in Indiana. Indiana, if they get to 90, they're jacked. They would have to push with Fox because he gets a lot of his points in transition because he's just so fast, get to the rim.
Yeah.
The old rack runner, I like to call him. All right, anything more we can talk about these stupid Kings?
I've also heard Marcus Smart, like the Celtics think they could just have anyone on our team.
No,
Marcus Smart and filler and like 2 bad picks.
We had Marcus Smart. His name was Ron Artest. That's Marcus Smart to me. It's Ron Artest. Meta World Peace, whatever you want to say. That dude was jacked. Could you imagine taking a charge from Ron Artest?
Be crazy. Look, the Kings did play tonight. They played in Atlanta, so the game is already over, and they were up by 14 after the first quarter, and we're down by 17 at halftime and lost by like 30. So we skipped over that part because it did not go well.
We're just talking sports today. We're about to jump into football here in a minute. We're going to do our favorite. Let's do a Kings bracket. Let's just jump right into it.
Kings bracket. This is why everyone should be here. It's King bracket time.
So we currently have a list compiled of 32 Kings. It's not the best King ever, but it's our favorite Kings ever. So we might be actually moving around the list a little bit. We have some names on there that might jump out, but we have some people that we just love. So if there's any names you do not hear that you guys love Kings wise, just let us know. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to start in the East bracket. Currently we have only 2 Kings that are currently playing.
Or do we just have names at this point?
No, I have it seeded, so I have all the matchups.
All right.
We're dialed in.
I am here to
if you
dispute your seedings.
Yeah, if you don't like the seedings or if you don't like any of the players, we can put them on a list and we'll change it before we launch this bad boy. But in the East, we have Mitch Richmond as the 1 seed taking on Tyrese Halliburton, the 8 seed.
Really?
Yeah, I don't have Halliburton any higher. It's
I
8
can't
seed.
wait to see who you have ranked higher. You're gonna have like Bano Udrich with a higher seed than Halliburton.
No, he's actually 8 seed in the North, so suck it. All right, so Richmond against Halliburton in the first seed. I think that will be a runaway, easy for Richmond, obviously. So the 2-7 matchup, we have Jason Williams. He's a 2 seed, and
Jason
he's going to
Williams
be.
is a 2 seed.
Yeah, just because we'll talk about it. He was either going to be a 1 or a 2. I put some older names on there that were considered the Kings' best because I didn't know if we were going to go greatest or favorite. But anyways,
I feel like I
Jay
need to
Will,
have a
the
pen to be taking notes to correct you after this thing. Yeah,
yeah.
A
Why
gap.
don't you?
Halliburton shouldn't be an 8 seed. I don't know what Troy's gonna have like John Brockman as like a 4 seed, and we're gonna have to riot.
No, he is also an 8 seed. So leave me alone. He's on there, but he's not higher than Halliburton. All right, did you get your pin yet? I mean, this show can
No,
only go so
no.
long. All right. Hallie, yeah, he's my 8 seed. I mean, we can move it around. These are just favorites. These are just like heart picks. A lot of things going. This is good streaming
Troy
right
Heart
here.
Pits.
Zach looks.
I'm nervous. I got a pen. We'll see if it works.
Okay.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
get my notes. I gotta write down this bracket so that I can just mock it
All right.
later on.
Perfect.
So it was The Rock against Hallie.
That's the East. That's the 1-8 matchup.
Okay.
And then the 2-7, we have Jason Williams against Hito Turkoglu.
Oh, okay.
So that's our two.
J Will not a 1 seed is like embarrassing, but okay.
Well, like I said, the greatest favorite we weren't quite sure on. So the other 1 seeds you'll see.
The only King highlights you ever see is Jason Williams.
Okay, it's not greatest though. Okay. Anyways, here we go. The 3 seed in the East, we have Mike Bibby. And he's going to be taking on Ron Artest, the 6 seed.
Interesting. Okay.
And then our 4-5 matchup, you're not going to like this one, but the 4, I'll actually switch these on the fly. The 4 seed is Gerald Wallace.
That's my boy.
And he's taking on the 5 seed Brad Miller.
Brad Miller. I've fixed his computer multiple times.
So I think that's a pretty
big
good
dude.
starting bracket. Yeah, I think we can maybe move some of those around, but I kind of like their seedings. But we'll see as we go on what you like. All right, we're moving to the West. We got Weber.
We got 4 of
as
these
the
things?
one. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to have Weber in the 1 seed.
Okay. I will agree with that 1 seed.
Okay, and he's taking on John Brockman. Because I get a pick because
Do you
I
have
love
Keon
John
Clark
Brockman.
as an 8 seed in here too?
No, I don't even have Keon Clark on here. That's how good this list is. All right, so in the West, our 2-7 matchup, we have Reggie Theus.
Reggie Theus.
And he's taking on Rudy Gay. I would say Gay is a 7 seed, wouldn't you?
You like Rudy Gay more than Tyrese Halliburton?
Absolutely. Halliburton hasn't done enough for me to be higher than an 8 seed.
What
I'm
did
sorry.
Rudy Gay do other than volume shoot like 45% from the field?
That's all you need to do for this list. You're a 7 seed, baby. All right. So our 3-6 matchup is, you're going to not like this, but it's all right. The 3 seed is Doug Christie, and he's taking on John Salmons. John Salmons is the 6 seed.
Is that how bad the Kings are? That John Salmons is a 6 seed? Oh my god!
I think so. He was good for a while, and we'll move this around. But the 4 seed in the West is Slampson.
Oh, Slamson's a 1 seed. I don't know what you're even smoking over there, Trey.
And he's taking on Fox as a 5 seed. We could move them all around, but I think Fox, he's been our best player for the last 3-4 years, however long. So
Fox
he got a little higher.
5. I'm fine with that.
All right, so we're going to move over to the North.
If he was behind Salmons or Rudy Gay, then we were going to have a riot. But
so this is one of the 1 seeds we might switch out with Jay Will. I just thought it's Oscar Robertson.
Yeah, no.
See, I just had him as like greatest, and then we switched it to favorite. So we'll move him down, but just have it down for now. We'll move it
We're
around.
gonna swap Big O for Slamson.
So Big O is taking on Bano Udrich in mine.
You love Beno Udrich. I just love to say
Why wouldn't you?
Udrich.
I think I moved some other ones around. I didn't put John Barry in here, and I'm feeling bad about it right now, so I might have to change that.
Well, we'll have our consolation names, and we'll have A Gap help us figure this seeding out.
All right, so in the North, we have our 2-7 matchup. We have Peja taking on Jason Thompson.
You love Jason Thompson.
He's the
All-time
most
best mouth breather in the history of the Kings.
best hands too.
Yes.
All right, so the 3 seed we got Vladi in the North,
3 seed is Vladi.
and he's taking on DeMarcus Cousins.
Boogie. You do
I
not
wanted to
favor
put-
these newer guys.
No, I don't like Cousins anyways. I don't even want to put him on the list, but I feel like I had to.
Well, if you put Beno Udrich on the list, then Boogie has to be on the list.
All right. And in the North, we got our 4-5 matchup. We got Kevin Martin,
Kmart, I sold him a laptop too.
and he's taking on our possible source, Bobby Jackson.
P-Jax. I think B-Jax might be higher than that, but I'd have to look at the list to see who he would take over.
Yeah,
for.
I always do the list weird, so I just kind of like was filling. I made the list and then was just filling holes.
I'm a seating nerd, so
Yeah, so you're not gonna like the South. We got Nate Archibald as a 1 seed.
okay.
I just of all the lists I saw that helped me do my seeding, he was up there, so that's why I have him in the 1. So Archibald's gonna take on scoreless Corliss Williamson as the 8th seed.
I like Corliss. I don't know. He might be higher on my list.
Yeah, we might move it around. So the South, the
Who's
2
gonna pick
seed.
Nate Archibald and you made it a 1 seed?
Well, you made me take off Jack Twyman.
Because I never heard of the guy.
All right, so the 2-7 matchup in the South, we got Rick Adelman, and he's taking on Purvis Elvis, whatever his name is.
Never nervous.
Nervous Purvis. Okay, so the 3-6 matchup, we got Wayman Tisdale.
Ooh, I love Wayman Tisdale. Excellent jazz
think-
artist.
Yeah, more of a jazz artist than a basketball player. That's why he's so high on the list. And he's taking on Isaiah Thomas in the 6th seed.
Okay.
Oh, no, I got a guy on here twice.
Oh boy.
I didn't notice that. But this would be a heck of a matchup. So we might have to move him. But I've got Scott Pollard taking
Ooh.
on Brad Miller. I have him on there twice.
So we just throw in John Barry.
Well, I also had other guys I had on there were OP, Olden Polynese.
I do love OP.
I had Tony Delk. I think he was a king at one point.
Tony Delk scored 55 points when he came back in the all-time greatest Kings revenge game of like a random castaway. Scored 55 when he was on the Suns.
So that's the list I put together. That's a 32. If you'd like to move some of the seedings around, we can. I had more of the greatest.
Do we have
when
any
I
other
first made it.
names from the chat that should have been on the list that we missed? There's got to be a bunch.
I mean, everyone I think I got from the good Kings. You know what I mean? I don't think I missed any there. Hidu, yeah. Bano Udrich. What was the animal's name?
Michael the Animal Smith,
Yeah.
Brian Grant.
Brian Grant. So many good. Maybe we put the Royal Court Dancers, even though that's not what they're called, and you get in trouble when you call them that.
I think Royal Court Dancers might need to be on the list.
Do we maybe move Halliburton off and we put on Thunder Sticks? I don't know how to do it. Garlic fries sneaking on the
Can
list.
we put Arco Arena on there? Can Grant Napier be on the list?
A-Gap, you did miss Peja. He was a 2 seed in the North. He's taken on Jason. I can't catch or breathe with my mouth closed. Thompson.
Definitely,
So
yeah, definitely have Peja.
we got all the big ones from that 2002 team.
That 98 team, that's the sleeper team, Troy. That's when Sacramento realized that they had a basketball team that could actually win basketball games. There was a lot of hype when they when they made the 8 seed or the 7 seed or whatever that year.
Didn't they take on like Utah that year?
Oh, they got destroyed by whoever it was that was in, but they made it.
Yeah, I think for the most part of everyone I can remember, I looked at a bunch of lists. I don't think I left out anybody, but because it's favorite and not greatest, I think we can take some of those older guys off.
Yeah, I don't know about Nate Archibald. That's going to be a hard sell.
Yeah, I mean Oscar Robertson, we could probably bump him down a little bit, but I don't think too many people are going to be voting for him or Nervous Purvis or
I think Slamson has to be a 1 seed.
you can move Slamson, and then we have to fill that double Brad Miller spot. We have John Barry. We have OP. Willie Cauley sign. Webb's a 1 seed in the West. Don't worry, we didn't miss. I'm not putting Willie Cauley. I can't stand Willie Cauley Stein.
I think
He's
Bibby's
not
a
making the
2.
list. So I think we'll put J. Will up at Archibald.
J. Will has to be a 1, and Slamson's got to replace Big O.
Yeah, and then we'll move Bibby up to 2 there. And we'll put Oscar Robertson as a 3 in the East, I think.
I think he's a 3. He's definitely the best player on the entire list, but no one here that is going to vote on this watched him play basketball. So,
well, you made me give it to Jack Twyman, but love Jack Twyman.
Was it like 1950s?
Doesn't matter when it was. I mean, that's not considered Kings, really, so in my
Big
opinion. I think 85 or after should be the rule.
So we got some guys to take off the list. We'll add a couple in. That was fun. I like where we're at. That's a good start.
Yeah, I think Thundersticks, Royal Court Dancers, Garlic Fries. I think.
Can Arco Arena be on it?
Cowbells.
Cowbells needs to be on there.
What if we do a non-player Kings related bracket
Popcorn?
after that?
We'll do that one next. Okay.
And
so
announcers.
Can Slamson not be on this one then? Because I feel like he
Slamson's
has a jersey.
on it.
Yeah, he's on both.
He's on it. He's a player. He probably could get some minutes if the coach was smart.
That guy probably makes more than some of the G League guys.
Without a doubt.
The good one that we lost in the expansion draft.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why we lost him. That guy was so talented.
Mm-hmm. I think that's good. I think we're good. Who's he? What name did he throw out? No Spud Webb. Or the pizza guy.
Ben McLemore?
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. Ben McLemore. There's a name for you.
Spud Webb. I could see him being on the list.
Yeah, I wasn't sure on that one.
Tyus Edney. What's the name? I think we're like where we're at.
We're close, I would say.
I think we're close. I like the seating for most of these. I think Bobby Hurley should be on the list instead of Never Nervous Purvis Ellison.
I'd get rid of Halliburton if we want to add him.
I like Halliburton more than a lot of these guys trying. You don't like any of the new Kings, which is fair because they're terrible and they don't try. They're the worst and we hate them.
It's just like one of those recency non-bias that I just hate them.
Yeah, totally fair.
It's like a lot of people not liking like Mahomes and all these newer guys and Brady for a while.
All right, so I think we got it narrowed down to 32 names. We'll get our finals. It'll be up on our social media this week at Spivey Special on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We'll be doing the voting on Facebook and Instagram. So look for that later in the week. We will have our results hopefully by next week's show if I did the math right. If not, oh well.
Who cares? We just do what we want. This is our show.
Yeah, we do
So
whatever we
suck
want.
it.
All right, are we ready to move on from the Kings? Because I don't know that I can do much more.
I don't think we can
Kings.
do much more.
Yeah, we have to talk about the bracket because we can't talk about them playing because they're so friggin' bad. All right, we're going to move on. We're going to go to football.
Sorry, just doing some.
We got to crop Troy back into the box here.
It's a me, Mario.
There he is. There's Fatty. Okay.
Which one's the funny guy?
We're going to move on to some NFL talk. Armchair long snappers. We're bringing it back.
Finally.
Troy, that might have been the greatest week of basketball, football. What did I say? Football? Football.
Wasn't basketball. No, definitely not basketball.
Yeah, we got
Best
basketball
week.
in mind. Best week of the NFL playoffs that I remember. 4 games. 3 of them ended with a game-winning field goal, and the other one was overtime.
A walk-off touchdown.
A walk-off touchdown. Fantastic. Let's talk about each of these games. I didn't get to watch much of the Bengals-Titans game because I was working, and every time I got a score alert, it was a field goal. So
basically, I watched the first half. I watched pieces of the second half. Just kind of an ugly game. What I didn't like, Bengals got 2 field goals, touchdown by the Titans. There was a penalty on the extra point, moved it to the 1, and they went for 2. I think that killed all momentum when they got stuffed there. Made it 6-6. Bengals got a field goal, 9-6 at half. So right there, you're not feeling bad either way around. I mean, 9-6, it's not what the doctor ordered, especially if you'd like to bet the over, but kind of an ugly first half.
Yeah, Derrick Henry didn't quite seem like Derrick Henry. I was hoping he would just kind of come back and then like magically run people over because he's like fully rested. But that did not happen.
No, it did
Titans
not.
had a hard time holding Jamar Chase at the end of the game.
Yeah, Chase ended 5 catches for 109. A.J. Brown on the other side had 5 catches for 142 and a tug. He had a big touchdown with, 15 seconds left in the third to tie it at 16 after Mixon got one early in the third. And then I think the difference was Tannehill. Tannehill threw 3 picks. He threw a huge pick with 20 seconds left in the game, which then the Bengals took it, and we all know how that ended. So buckets. So funny story, Burrow was interviewed after the game, and they were asking him how they feel about McPherson, the kicker, and all this, and Burrow goes, yeah, it was kind of weird. The kicker came up to me right before he was about to kick the game-winning kick, and he goes, hey, Joe, how does it feel to be going to the AFC Championship game? So before the kicker even went up there to kick it, he's basically saying, I'm going to make it. So I thought that was kind of cool. I think he's a rookie, too.
I love a good cocky kicker. That's my favorite thing.
I'm pretty sure he's a rookie, too. That's
anyone on special teams that's like overly confident, like McAfee was as the punter for the Colts, love it. Love me some Johnny Hecker on the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are just difference makers. I mean, the guy kicks, you don't have a good kicker. Obviously, you've seen it with some teams in the past. It's the difference between a win and a loss, and especially in the playoffs. That's kind of important there.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on to this Packers-Niners game. First drive of the game, Packers look unstoppable, and then they were very, very stoppable the rest of the game. The weather changed pretty dramatically once the game started. After that first couple drives, the snow started coming down, and the game changed pretty dramatically.
Yeah, Packers took it right down their throat, like you said, on the first one. Got the ball back. Their second drive, they were driving again. I thought they were going to go up, and it was just going to be a runaway type game. And I think it was a big fumble by the Packers. I think it was the old man tight end that gave it up. And that kind of changed all the momentum in a way. 7-0 still, about right before half. Niners come up with a big block field goal, kept it at 7-0 going into halftime. Niners got about 7 minutes into the third, got a field goal to make it 7-3. And then Packers got another field goal, made it 10-3, and then with 4:41 left in the game, I don't know how you let this happen. That block punt touchdown to tie it at 10.
That was
Unbelievable.
Pretty bad. Special teams basically killed them, but I mean the Packers offense past that first drive wasn't that great. It wasn't like it was just the special teams that blew it. They didn't really do anything for most of that game. They were getting home. Rodgers was having a hard time getting the ball. A lot of drops. Tough to keep the drives going.
That's one of the better defenses in the league when they're cooking. Everyone's healthy, and it showed.
You can definitely see the difference with the Niners from the early part of the season when everyone was hurt to when they all came back. They have been lights out since then.
The scary thing is old Jimmy G, he threw like 3 or 4 passes that I'm like, oh my gosh, that's going to be a pick six. Oh my gosh, that's going to be a pick six. And somehow, luckily, they weren't pick sixes. So with him being hurt with a leg and an arm and a nose and a cat,
he was trying to throw it like Aaron Rodgers, but without the arm strength, where he was just like throwing off his back foot.
So basically, he can't drive on his legs, so he's just using all arm, and then he hurt his arm, and so that's where we're at.
Yeah.
So their offense scores 6 points, and they're moving on to the NFC Championship game.
Play to win the game.
Pretty wild.
Play to win the game.
The old Trent Dilfer 2022, baby.
Whatever it takes.
Dilfer.
Flacco 1-1. Dilfer 1-1. Kaepernick almost 1-1, and he's terrible.
Oh, if the Niners are in the Super Bowl, we'll talk about that in a minute. If the Niners are in the Super Bowl, I'm not watching. Ugh, that'd be so boring. It'd be like that Rams-Pats game a few years back.
That was a terrible, terrible game, too.
That was the worst.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk some Rams, right? I missed a good portion of the end of this game. We were driving up to get our photos done in the snow, and Rams were up big, and I kept telling Heather, I think they're going to blow it. I don't feel comfortable. This isn't good. Unless they're up by 50, this game's not over. And just as we were getting out of range of the radio, they were starting their comeback. So why don't you give us the breakdown in this one, Trey?
Yeah, so Bucks were atrocious in the first half. They didn't look like themselves. A lot of drop passes. So it was 20-3 at halftime, and then here we go. Crazy comeback, 55-yard touchdown to Evans with 3:20 left in the game. Next possession for the Rams, they fumble. Then it's 4th and 1 for the Bucks, and Fournette takes it outside and scores with 42 seconds left. Gross end of the play for defense. So there's 42 seconds left when it was tied up there at the end of the game. Final drive. This was the final drive for the Rams. They get sacked on the first play for a -1. They use their last timeout. Next play is 20 for Kupp. Next play is 44 for Kupp. Next play, they spike it. Next play, walk-off field goal. So Kupp finished with 9 catches, 183 in a tug. Evans himself on the other side, 8 catches for 119 in a tug. So down the stretch, as well as the Bucks played to get back in the game, I think the defense, which actually happened in a lot of these games, the end of the game defense where they just kind of play prevent, kind of cost them.
I'm so sick of the prevent defense shenanigans. Every time that happens, they're going to get in field goal range. They're going to have a chance. Happens over and over and over again. The Lions should beat the Ravens earlier this year. Can't believe that one happened. Well, the Rams should have beat the Patriots in that Super Bowl, or at least went to overtime in that one. They went super prevent against Tom Brady, and he just drove down and got the game-winning touchdown. It just happens over and over and over again. We don't have a defensive coordinator that will just call a man defense.
Why change what you're calling the whole game that's been working? Obviously, the other teams can be calling plays where they're going to try. But like in this last game, how do you let a guy just streak down the middle of the field? And twice the Bucks, they let Kupp go over the top for big plays. One for a touchdown, one for that 44-yard play to set up the field goal.
If you're going to play a soft zone, why not have a guy just 50 yards back, just like playing super safety to make sure nothing happens like that?
2 guys playing 3 flies up. Why not? I don't. So yeah, bad end of the game. Great job by the Bucks. I heard actually Gronk came out today and said if you had to ask me right now what I was going to do for my future, I'd probably retire. But I think he'll take some time to think about it. I think Tom's doing the same thing, and we'll see if those two come back for another run or not.
I think Giselle's going to talk him out of playing.
Yeah, I've heard that she just hates watching him keep getting hit, and he's
Well,
old, wants to be with his
he's like
kids. Yeah.
super obsessed with it. Like even in the off season, he like flies his teammates out and they're working out. It's like, come on, you get like 2 months with your family and you spend it throwing passes to Scotty Miller.
Well, that's the problem. If he was throwing to Scotty Miller and not Antonio Brown, this would be a whole other story. Yeah. So, poor Antonio Brown.
I think if they have Godwin or Antonio Brown, they win that game.
Oh, I don't even think it is a game. It just changes everything. Mm-hmm. You're not throwing to Scotty Miller and Cameron Brate. Cameron Brate's not even on the field. I know he's the other tight end on the other side, but
he's the third tight end.
Too many looks for him.
All right, let's talk Chiefs-Bills. The most exciting game of the four. The other three were very close, all decided by a field goal. Chiefs-Bills was like the most exciting football game. We were at BJ's watching it.
Yeah, it's one of those crazy little games. Chiefs scored on I can't remember what it was, but they scored a touchdown to go up 23-14 with 2 minutes and 6 seconds left in the third. And I was telling everyone I was watching the game with, this is over. Just put a fork in it. We're going to have to watch the Chiefs in the Super Bowl again. And then I think it was the very next play or a couple plays after that. I think it was the next play. Gabriel Davis got a 75-yard touchdown, made it 23-21. I think they did kick the extra point there. And then it just got wild. So with 1:54 left in the ball game, Gabriel Davis scored his third touchdown to make it 29-26. They went for two and got it. I think again to Gabriel Davis. That guy just caught everything. Mm-hmm. And then we had I think it was a 55 or maybe a 60-yard touchdown pass to Hill with 1:02 left to make it 33-29.
That play was absurd. They threw him the ball in space. Like there's 3 defenders around. One of them's like 5 yards ahead of him, and he throws up the deuces to the guy who's ahead of him. You're not catching me. I'm gone. You can't touch me. It was like a safety, and he was right. He was gone.
So fast.
There was zero chance. He's fast, and he's the quickest and the fastest, which shouldn't be allowed to happen. He's a cheat code. It's not fair.
Yeah, he'll be interesting. He actually finished with 11 catches with 150 yards and 1 touchdown. Davis on the other end, who actually scored the touchdown with 13 seconds left to make it 36-33. He had 8 catches for 201 yards and 4 touchdowns. I would say career game. Yeah. One person who really didn't play that well or really stand out was Diggs in that game that night. I think he only had a few catches and not for that many yards. I think late in the game.
Take him away.
Yeah, I think that's what Reed likes to do is take away one of the better options. But Davis just ate. And I think, too, you saw there's a couple big plays by the Bills earlier in the game. The Chiefs, really good safety. The Honey Badger got hurt, got knocked out of the game unconscious. So I think they found that little opening on some of their bigger plays down the field. And then 13 seconds left. They kick it out of the back of the end zone. Touchback, bring it to the 25, 19-yard pass to Hill, 25-yard pass to Kelsey, field goal to tie it. And then I saw this meme that says, there's nothing that Josh Allen could have done better to win this game. And it said, yes, he could have called heads. So I think that's the only mistake he really made.
He's the one that did the coin toss. He can only blame himself.
Yeah, it's the only thing he did wrong was he called tails. So, and then the Chiefs.
Yeah, and then the Chiefs score.
Now, what are your thoughts on
13 seconds left? You should be squib kicking that ball 100 times out of 100 times.
Oh, yeah. You got to – that's a hard thing, though, because, like, I don't remember what game it was, but one of the kickers kicked the ball out of the bounds twice. So if let's say you squib and it takes a bad hop and it goes out of bounds. They get it on the 40.
Kick
No
it
time is
straight
out there.
3 feet off the ground.
Yeah, you got to have someone touch it there and get some time off, because then they only have one play. Because I don't know if they had a timeout. No, they had all
3
their
timeouts.
timeouts.
That's
Yeah,
the
they had
difference
all their
between the
timeouts.
Cowboys game where they're saying Dak's run took longer than their drive. I was like, well, yeah, they had 3 timeouts.
Well,
so
yeah,
the whole
I mean,
field's open at that point, and then they're just playing like some weird soft zone, and they just
played
throw
like
it between the zones.
the weird thing was, it looks like they were trying to take the sidelines away.
And they had 3 timeouts. It didn't make any sense.
On that play, the Kelsey's just running a streak right down the middle of the field, and they're just like playing the sideline, like, we can't let them out of bounds. Well, they got a timeout.
It's like they skipped that week at practice where they're doing the 2-minute drill on defense.
Just play defense. It's really not that hard.
Play
You've been
man,
doing it all game.
bring an extra guy, do something to make him throw the ball earlier.
Yeah,
when you got to go 75 yards or 50 yards to get the field goal or whatever.
Yeah, I think they got, let's see, 19. Yeah, they got 44 yards.
Press the receivers and make them take 5 to 6 seconds to just be open.
Yeah, I think it was one of the things they didn't want Hill to get it and Hill to just do what he did earlier in the game. But you got to guard the guys, right? The only problem with the Chiefs is they have guys that are similar to Hill, with Robinson and Hardman's
just as fast.
And Pringle, and all those guys are they're just so well-rounded on the offensive side. We'll see. So this week, the Chiefs are hosting the Bengals. They're 7-point favorites, I believe.
That's what
I think that'll be.
I
think that'll be another shootout type game. I think the Chiefs will probably end up winning. I think they have the experience.
I think the Bills are better than the Bengals.
I mean, everyone's like, "Oh, the Bengals already beat the Chiefs." I'm like, "Yeah," but it wasn't in Kansas City in January,
right?
Where Mahomes has already, been to the last 2 Super Bowls.
In the AFC Championship game, where they've already been to the Super Bowl twice.
Yeah, it's nothing for them. And then on the other side, the Rams are only 3.5-point favorites, which I think was an interesting line at home against the Niners.
Well, the Niners just beat them last week.
Well, the Niners have beat them 6 times in a row.
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting matchup. I think the Rams are the better team, but it's one of those things where certain matchups just work out for you.
Well, the Niners defense.
The Rams used to beat the Seahawks every year, even though the Seahawks would go to the Super Bowl and the Rams were terrible Jeff Fisher teams, and they would just beat them because they're some sort of weird matchup, some sort of weird divisional hatred motivation. I don't know what it is, but Niners have been hot.
So if the Chiefs, on the site that I make wagers on occasionally, you can already bet the Super Bowl. You can bet on all the 4 different equations. They're telling me that what would you say the line is if the Chiefs play the Rams?
I think it's like Chiefs by 4.5.
It's 3.
And
what about the Niners? What about the Niners, Chiefs?
I would guess they're like 6-point favorites.
3.5. Isn't that crazy?
Really? Huh.
I bet that line will move. I mean, if it's an actual line.
Yeah. There's probably not a lot of money on that, and that's probably a pretty easy one to move.
Yeah, so you can bet on any 4 of the matchups, and if the game plays, you get the lines that are right now, which is kind of cool.
And the Niners are the type of team that has to beat the Chiefs, where you just get home with your 4 guys.
Yeah, I mean, with that good a defense, I mean, it's not going to. Most Super Bowls are closer games. There's not too many blowouts in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, a little concerned for the Rams. Their rushing defense isn't that great, and that's what the 49ers do pretty well. I think Donald and Von Miller will do a pretty good job of getting to Garoppolo, but Garoppolo just won 2 playoff games with averaging 0 touchdowns and 1 interception, so.
You don't know. We don't know. No one knows. I think what the NFL is rooting for is the Bengals-Niners. I think that's going to be the biggest rated game ever. Oh, I don't think there's any chance, though, personally, that the Bengals beat them. But if they do, and it's the kicker, I'm a big McPherson fan now.
I'm a big fan of the Bengals kicker now. I'm not a huge Bengals fan because they're in our division, but
Just the kicker.
I'm sick of the Chiefs being in every year. And I don't want
Yeah,
the Niners to go back. That's rough. I can't have that.
most likely it's going to be Chiefs Rams. I think the Chiefs will probably win. I think that would be a really good matchup, though. It'd be fun. I think of the 4 left, I think that'd be the funnest matchup.
Yeah, but high-powered defenses, they can make stops when they need to, but they're not like overly good. Where it's going to be like 10-3.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about the Super Bowl. Those are always so slow starting.
Yeah. But at least both of those teams have been in a Super Bowl fairly
Yeah,
recently.
I just don't like. I love the Super Bowl in general, the event, but the game itself is kind of boring.
Who's
Just
our
takes so
halftime act
long.
this year?
Oh, it's a good one. I think it's like Snoop, Dr.
Oh, that's
Dre,
right. That's right.
Eminem, Cher. They're all there. I'd watch it if Cher
Hologram
was on.
Meatloaf.
So you want to talk real quick about the Farmers Insurance matchup going right now?
What's that?
The golf this week
Okay, tell me about it, Troy.
started today because they don't want
Do
to
we even
match up
have
with football.
Do we even have a page for golf? I don't think we do. I'll have to
I
make
thought
one.
it was FORE, FORE.
That's the name of it, but I never made a scene for it because we never actually did it.
Gosh, yeah, because like who's gonna listen to us talk about golf? Everyone. That's who, Zach. Everyone. So we got old Billy Horschel. He's leading after 1. He's 9 under. Our favorite, Mark Hubbard, -3. He's on a provisional card this year because he didn't play very well last year. Talked to his mother-in-law today. No big deal. She's on my route, so I talked to her for a little bit. No, mother-in-law, so it's not Hubbard. Yeah, so they're down. What's the one in La Jolla? What course is that? Spyglass?
La Jolla would be Torrey Pines.
Torrey Pines, that's where they're at. And then his mother-in-law, she's going to the one next week, the Pro-Am, Pebble Beach.
That's a good tournament.
Which is kind of cool. So yeah, no real big names at the top of the list right now, but I think that I love when golf is back and you got something to look at on the Thursdays and Fridays when you're not a lot going on. So if you guys aren't a big fan of Mark Hubbard, you're gonna hear him a lot. The deep track. It's the only thing we can really hold on to about people that are still playing sports because we're getting so old.
Yeah, I think I'm older than almost every single person in the NBA now, except LeBron.
I would.
And maybe Melo.
Definitely Melo. You were 12 when he got drafted. Didn't get drafted in 98? That could be wrong. He hasn't been in the league 24 years.
No. He was in the same draft as
04.
He's in the LeBron draft, right?
I don't know if that's accurate.
No, he's in the Darko Milicic draft. Who went first in that draft? LeBron, Darko, Carmelo, with Wade at like 5.
That's a decent draft. And the Kings would have been the one getting Darko.
We would have moved up to get Darko in that draft.
Gosh, I think we're still trying to draft Darko. All right, we got a goal there from the Bruins, 2-1 in Colorado. It's a weird 7 o'clock start in Colorado. 2 of the better NHL teams playing tonight, Boston and Colorado Avalanche. Wild.
Nice. All right, Troy.
So before we go, Madness. Heather, can she make me shirts?
Yes, she can.
Okay.
You can order them through her Etsy site.
Can I order them through her husband?
You could also
do that.
do
Easier
that
for me. Okay.
Give me a design, and we'll.
I got one.
Happen. Okay.
Got one in here. I don't know if I can get it out there.
Text it to Heather. She'll figure it out.
All right. This is the early stages of my.
If I were to potentially go, what is a Thursday, Friday situation?
Yeah, we leave after work on Wednesday once we get the kids down. Also based on the weather, if we have to beat the snow or something, we try to leave a little earlier. And then it's St. Patrick's Day's the Thursday this year, and then Friday's the 18th. We come home Friday, usually around lunch because we're out of money, or if we can make it to the evening, we drive home Friday night.
Nice.
And again, based off weather.
Big news on my side. I'm a alternate for the Gumball Rally this year.
Now we are talking. A lot of people say your athletic career was behind you.
Yep.
Why are you an alternate this year?
Well, Shaylin can't do it this year.
Yeah, it wasn't going to be her sister.
And then she is not feeling well. So if she recovers from her illness before, then she'll be in.
When is the Gumball Rally?
It is the day before the Super Bowl. So we would go down Friday after work. We would Gumball Rally it all day at Disneyland. Which Gumball
Saturday?
Rally... Yeah, Gumball Rally. I believe we've covered on the show before, but in case you're one of the two people still watching us on Facebook right now. The Gumball Rally is a crazy sort of like... What is it, like a race to see who can go on the most Disney attractions at Disneyland?
Yeah, there's different point system, and like if you
answer trivia questions and you do all kinds of crazy stuff. We've heard about it. I've always wanted to be a part of it, and there's a chance it might happen this year. So Vito, you need to make it happen.
Yeah, you can't have someone recovering from an illness and just think the lungs and all that.
Mm-hmm.
You look at this athlete right in front of me right here. You say you're not going to take that?
Mm-hmm. I'm way too competitive to not have on your team.
But then the only issue is you have to spend the whole day with Vito at Disneyland.
I got to drive down. I got to share a room with him.
Oh, it'd be just you two driving down?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's worse than the Gumball Rally. Is there any like time warp you could take?
See if we can rent a Learjet or something.
Yeah. Just take that train we got, that bullet train.
Yeah, we could take it from, what is it, like Fresno to Bakersfield?
And just Uber, you're fine.
It was totally worth $100 million. $100 billion or whatever that bullet train cost.
Nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that was fun. We'll get the bracket all dialed in for you guys. The Kings bracket, 32 favorite players. We're knock off some of the oldies.
The super oldies.
Wait, Troy, not in California. Yeah, I'm in California. I don't know why. Did I say something where I wasn't in California?
I don't know. I
missed
that one.
Browns fans. I mean, what can you do? You know what I mean? Yeah.
She doesn't make good decisions.
Now, would you say that even with Big Ben retiring and them not having a quarterback, would you still say Baker's the worst quarterback in our division?
Well, he's not better than Burrow. He's not better than Lamar Jackson. Is he better than Mason Rudolph / Jameis Winston / Derek Carr?
So, Loca, we drive for March Madness. We drive from here in California. We drive up to Reno, Nevada. In the mountains over there, we get snow. So we have to plan our trip around it. Otherwise, we can't get there. Yeah,
Sacramento's a pretty fun place to live because you're like 2-3 hours away from anything. There's not a lot to do here. But if you don't mind driving 2 to 3 hours, we got the Reno, we've got world class skiing, we've got beaches, we got everything because it's California.
Yeah, you can get to Reno from here on good weather about an hour and a half. With snow, maybe take you 3 hours. Just kind of depends on how heavy and all that. So, yeah, the Browns are terrible. So that's where we're at with that.
He's got to be better than Mason Rudolph. But I think
Who do you think?
I think the Steelers are going to try to get Jameis Winston or Derek Carr.
Wasn't Bridgewater open too?
He's an option. I've heard Russell Wilson rumors. That's not going to happen. I've heard Aaron Rodgers. That's not going to happen. We're going to get a crap load of cap room when Ben Roethlisberger retires, though.
Aaron Rodgers would be an interesting fit. I mean, you got your two, I would say, two of your better offensive weapons are that the tight end, and then Najee Harris. Both were rookies this past year. So that's two really good young offensive options there. And then all your crazy receivers as well.
The Browns are supposed to be good like the last 5 years, and it just hasn't happened because they're the Browns.
Yeah, remember when they didn't win any games till like week whatever it was? They finally got a drink. Did they go complete year without wins?
They did an 0-16.
Now that's
Them and the Lions.
perfection. That's perfection right
One
there.
of the guys that did the 0-16s could be playing in the NFC Championship game.
Who's that?
Matt Stafford.
Oh, that's true. Nobody shuts him out. That's what I like to say. All right, you ready to wrap up the show?
Let's
Number
wrap it up.
97. Number 97. It's crazy.
That's a lot of episodes. All right, make sure to
It's a
join us
lot of
on
guacamole.
social media at Spivey Special on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Our Twitter is full of us complaining about the Kings, and basically that's it. And make sure that you're following us on Twitch so you get the alerts when we're going live. That is the best place to join the chat like Loka has for the last hour or however long we've been doing this.
Loka, she's the real MVP. I've always said that
She is the
about
MVP
her.
of our show.
Let's send her over to the animal. Do you know how to do that?
She's gonna go there anyway. I don't think we need to do it. I don't know.
But then everyone will see that we sent her. They'll be
Loka,
like,
how do I do it? Do I type it in the? I go into Twitch and I type in something.
I think she left already.
Yeah, she already left probably.
Ugh, we had a good run.
Here it is. Raid.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys are listening to this episode, you're welcome.
It's very
This
good.
is just us.
Did I do it right?
I don't know. We didn't even do our sign off.
Oh well, I gotta hit the buttons. So, Troy, do our sign off for us.
Zach, you're fat.
Troy, you're fat. Later.
Ooh, spooky. I think we're still going.
I think we are.
Nailed it. This is going really well if you guys are still watching.
It's
Bingo.
going really good. We're gonna send you guys over to the Animal 916 if I can figure it out. I think I did it. Yeah, I think I did it. Here we go. Right now, we're heading over to see Tyler.
Boom. You sent me there.
We are now rating. It's just us and Loka. Don't worry about it, Tyler.
Love it. Love it.
All right, Trey, I'm going to end our stream. I believe we'll still be rating Tyler.
Perfect. You already sent me over there.